Hello, everybody. We've got two golden retrievers here today. Do you see my other one laying on the... Oh, have a second kid, they said. It was a good idea. Actually, it's been the best idea ever. My Goldens, I think, are going to be hanging out with us today as we are going live with Sophia. Sophia, now that you're on live, look. Your favorite girls are here. Of course, they have to be here for today's live. For those of you who don't know, Sophia and I are going to be hanging out on live today. But first, I want to hype her. I want to hype her up before we get started. This is going to be an interview live with one of my present clients that has been inside of the Sovereign Healer School and Mastermind for the last 5 months. She's on her 5th month inside of the school and Mastermind. When Sophia and I first connected, specifically inside of the Mastermind, she knew that she needed to figure out the full strength of her abilities. And there was a part of her that held a lot of resistance around claiming that she was a psychic, claiming that she does this work. And since we've been working together, I'll let her hype you up, hype herself up in this, but the growth has truly been outstanding in terms of her ownership of her natural gifts, in terms of the awareness of what those natural gifts are, in how that has impacted her clients, and the safety, the protocols, the protection of her clients has just honestly been some of the most extraordinary growth from the outside looking in. Since these 5 months, I have watched her find what makes her natural gifts true. I've watched her claircognizance blow through the freaking roof. I've watched her mission become in her truth and the clarity of what that is be embodied. I've watched her faith grow beyond, actually, honestly, like a shadow of a doubt. Her faith is so fortified and so unconditional, and I'm so excited to bring her here today. I'm going to do my best to not treat her like she's my best friend, because she's also that as well. And I'm really just going to focus on the value of today's conversation, because I think it's really important to highlight people who are already in the school, people who are already in the mastermind, or people who've been through it. That way you get to witness in real time growth happening, expansion happening, but then also hindsight of how much people have grown. So today, when you listen to Sophia, you get to hear her at her midway mark inside of the school and mastermind. And I hope that she's going to be super honest about where she's at, honest about how the mastermind has been for her, and the growth that she's going to continue to hopefully embody through the rest of the school and mastermind, and then for everything that's to come. She is a sound, how do I want to say this? She is a sound medicine woman who infuses frequency to help other medicine women embody their most abundant, true, and fully expressed version of themselves. And so, Sophia, I'm going to have you join me here, and we're going to dive in.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hello there, stranger. You're not giving me dirt squirrel at all. You look like you put yourself together very well for today's live.
I tried.
How are you? How was my introduction? How'd I do?
Your intro was amazing. It was perfect.
Thank you. I wanted to honor the fact that I feel like it's important to acknowledge that you haven't been through the entire school, you haven't been through the entire mastermind, but you're about at your halfway mark. And I think that that's a really great start for those of us that are intrigued with the school, intrigued with the mastermind, curious about what we're doing, because you don't have enough length in the experience to give us a full picture, but you have enough to be like, here's where I've grown, here's where I've started, and here's where I'm at. So let's start with this. Walk me through the journey of like, I need to be in the mastermind. Where were you in your psychic, spiritual, cosmic growth?
I'm like, wait, when did I join the mastermind?
Uh,
September.
yes.
I said yes in September.
Yes.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, I was in Victoria's business mastermind before this. So back in the day, she had a business mastermind and I was in that. And towards the, I guess we got to back up all the way through 2024. Let's rewind. Hold on. I was in her business mastermind. And then during said mastermind, I went to the merge in Ireland. And in the merge in Ireland, I think is kind of where the light bulb started to turn on of like, I think I am psychic, but also I don't think I'm psychic. And it's that kind of, but the light started to turn on of like, I'm cosmic. There's something here. There's something here. And so I kind of just let that unravel as I was really processing who I am and what I'm here to do. And then my time in the business mastermind was completing. I was finishing my 6 months and I just knew I had to be in the sovereign healer. And I remember telling you, I have zero idea why I'm stepping into this space because from the outside looking in, there was no reason to. I've never done official energy healing. I've never done any of that officially. And so I was like, I don't know why I need to be in this space, but I do. And I stepped inside and I just trusted that yes. And that was kind of my process leading up to the sovereign healer. Obviously, I trust you with my life, and I was sharing this with you and you were like, dude, this is where you need to be. And so I also trusted you within that and the way that you weave with all of your clients. And so that was kind of my process to even just saying yes, because there was no logic. It made no sense why I said yes, but my claircognizance, like, you need to be in there. And so I just really trusted that. And so that was my journey getting into the mastermind.
I love that you mentioned a few important pieces here. The first one is trust. We're in a time where there's so many reasons to not trust spiritual leaders. Yeah. And I appreciate that your process to trusting an investment in the sovereign healer, in the business mastermind, it took time for you to really feel what was right for you and to be able to have enough trustability in the relationship in the way that I had led to know that this would be a safe investment. Because for you, I know the investments that you had made in 2024 were so significant for you financially. So I love that you brought that in. And I want to honor anybody who's in that space who's like, I've invested in weird places before, spiritual leaders, business leaders, people in general. And I have some feels about that. So I'd love to kind of go a little bit deeper into the leadership pieces for you that really helped you feel like it was, the right move to trust. Like, what was it that I was speaking about, or the way that you and I held space together in the business mastermind that really solidified trust for you?
Well, I think it's interesting because in most other investments I've made, the way in the way in which the results were framed felt very tangible. And so other investments have felt, quote unquote, more logical because I'm like, oh, I'm stepping into a business mastermind. Well, I'm going to make more money. But at the time, me stepping into Sovereign Healer, I'm like, I know the point, but also I have no idea what's going to unfold. And so I feel as though with you, because you are such a deep embodiment of this work with your story, with the way that you communicate, with the way that you hold space, and also just getting to know you for 6 months, knowing the depths of integrity that you hold and knowing the depth of embodiment of this work within yourself, us having those conversations of me like, oh, I feel the pull, and then you saying, dude, I feel the pull for you. Just even that in and of itself, because of who you are, on social media, but also me getting to see you at the merge behind the scenes. I'm like, dude, this woman is literally the walking, talking embodiment of this work. Before we even developed a friendship, really. Yeah. And so, truly, like, getting to watch you be the embodiment of this and watching or knowing your story from where you were to where you are now, that supported me in the anchoring of the trust, and also just kind of the piece of walking through the fire of like, I've just kind of also learned to trust.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I appreciate that you brought in the merge element, because I do feel that if you want to see somebody who's in integrity with their teachings, you watch them in person. And in the merge, everybody is protected at a level that really solidifies the priority of what I teach, which is safety. So thank you for that. I'd love to kind of now go a little bit deeper into your investment. Now, for those of you who don't know, Sophia has really strong shamanic connections as well. You've worked really deep in the medicine world. I want to talk a little bit about your ayahuasca journey that you had not that long ago while you were inside of the school and mastermind, how the medicine with the sovereign healer way amplified your protection, and ultimately what came through for you.
So, a little very transparent backstory. Yes, we touched on it. I work in the medicine space. I work in the shamanic realms. That is my medicine. That is my work. And I had a moment of, did me stepping inside of this ruin my entire life? Because how can the two coexist?
Yes, good point.
I didn't know how the two could coexist of psychic protection but also expanding consciousness with medicine, and how it can all weave together. And I had a moment of like, uh-oh, did I just open a door that now I'll never be able to close, in regard to, like, do I now know something that I can't unknow? And so I had a moment of that, and I think I told you that, and I was like, eh. And so in October, I went to Costa Rica to work with ayahuasca again, and that was the first time I've ever sat with any medicine, actually, since I stepped inside of Sovereign Healer. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to go into this. I'm going to put a grounding cord down. I'm going to put a gold shield up. Yeah. I'm going to cleanse my energy. And anything that comes through, I'm going to challenge its vibration. And I'm going to run it through my body. And we're just going to test it out. And so I did just that. I took my own space before ceremony to prep and put my grounding cord in, put my gold shield up, and I stepped into ceremony. And that night I channeled a frequency, which is so crazy to even still say that I channeled a frequency. Like, it's just beyond me. And as it was all unfolding, my human Sophia came in and was like, okay, let's make sure, where is this coming from? Oh, it's coming from the Lemurian crystalline grid. Great. Who's here? You're an elder. Who are you? Challenging vibration. Oh, you're the elder of Ananda. Okay, cool. I'm feeling love. Great. You can be here. And so I was really utilizing what I had learned in the 3 months I had been in the space to bring this through my actual discernment and through my body. And it was just green light, green light, green light, love, love, yes, this. And so from that space, I was able to like then really lean into the magic of the medicine of surrender. So I kind of walked through that first of like, roadblock, who are you? What is this? Check. And then from there, I was like, okay, now I can melt into the magic and receive and like really channel and let that flow through my system. But yeah, I channeled a frequency, which was so crazy. And you were literally the first person I messaged. I messaged you while I was still there. And I don't talk to people when I'm in Costa Rica. One thing about me, like, you won't hear from me. And I messaged V and I was like, dude. And you were like, yeah. And so it was such a beautiful moment for me of, I held in trust for so long that there was something there for me. Like, it was a long walk, and I had moments, I guess this is like a tie-in, because I feel like you would ask, yeah, I know, Lex. I had moments in the Sovereign Healer where I was like, what am I doing here? There are some people in the mastermind that are like already slaying entities and this, and I was like, dude, what am I doing here? I feel behind. I totally felt like huge, massive ocean, and I'm literally like a thing of sand. And I just kept leaning in and receiving and asking questions and really being a student. I feel like I was asking questions that felt like kindergarten for me. And so I was really leaning in, and of course, in like the natural timing and the natural way, exactly like you speak, Ananda came through, and I was like, oh, it all makes so much sense why it all unfolded in the exact way that it did.
You don't have to mute because my dog is acting like a pit bull. Not that I have any judgment against pit bulls, but she's acting like a raging, not a golden retriever. Damn. Yes, I want to iterate to anybody who's curious about what Ananda is. That is the frequency that Sophia channeled while she was in her ceremony. And I think this is just such a detailed and really important conversation about, one, trusting the natural timing of what's right for you and letting the knowing be enough and be. And you resemble that so beautifully in the way that you lead your life. The next part is, I love how you explain how that simple act of challenging the energy for a moment actually allows you to be able to trust in the experience that then followed. And that is such an important part of the sovereign healer. I know sometimes our students will be like, oh, like, I feel like I'm like so rigid, like I'm trying to control things for a little bit. And my philosophy is I'd rather you feel like you're controlling the energy at first, because it is dangerous to not have control over your channel. And we see that inside of the New Age community so much. I scroll on tarot TikTok for a second, and in the left-hand corner, there's all these deities that apparently brought through this message. And immediately it's like, this is inaccurate. Like, it is across the board something that cannot provide validity.
Yeah.
And what you received was validity in what you were feeling, which then allowed you to melt into the medicine in a way that provided the confidence. Yes. And I think that that is the biggest shift in the first month when you entered the mastermind. You were confident in God, but you were not confident about what your cosmic purpose and path was. And then once the retreat happened, the medicine journey, and all of the information that came through infused with the sovereign healer methodology, now you have the confidence in your cosmic path. So now I'm curious.
Wait, can I say one more thing about that feels important?
Oh, please go ahead.
I highlight the mastermind aspect, because had I not had the mastermind and Ananda came through, I can 100% say that in this moment, months later, I would still be questioning if it was real.
Yeah.
So the gift of probably the biggest gift so far that the mastermind has given me is me coming in there like, I channeled a frequency. Yeah. This is what happened. This is what they gave me. Can you support me in making sure that this is accurate and that this is real? And, you know, you ask me questions like, where did this come from? And I'm like, it came from here. Okay, check, you know, and we had that conversation. Mm-hmm. And had I not been able to have that like debrief,
yes,
I would to this day be questioning, is it real or did I make it up? So I just want to highlight that piece of the mastermind that has been the most profound for me, is the anchoring of accuracy in what I channel.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. I think that's so important. And that's something that ultimately ends up tripping people up, because I don't think that discernment is something that we naturally have. I think as empaths, we already struggle with boundaries in our young and early adolescence. And then as we start to, you know, wake up and go through this journey, discernment is so subtle that if we don't have a space to be like, is this real? Is this right? Is what I'm feeling about this person true? You know, I can think about and reflect on my own journey and how important it was to have my guides that were like, when I would say, I feel so weird about that teacher, I don't know what it is. Like, I've never considered, like, they seem like nice people, but I get a weird feeling. And I would receive accuracy, like, something's not totally right. Whoa, for the first time, I'm able to see myself and see my accuracy and go, whoa. And then something built in my inner trust. And so thank you for bringing that forward, because that refinement and that instant feedback could have completely shifted your trajectory should you not have had the mastermind.
Yeah. Especially as someone that is very claircognizant, where I just know shit. I don't know how I know it, but I just do. And so that gift to me feels like it's more floating than like, oh, I have this specific vision. And so, yes, pieces like that come through for me, but especially with claircognizance being so strong for me, having the mastermind to be able to be like, oh, this, can you check, like, how does this feel, like really being able to just confirm what I know, and sometimes be like, oh, this wasn't, just having that sounding board is like priceless, truly.
Yay, that makes me so happy to hear. I just love hearing like just your growth and how valuable this space has been, because that's ultimately why I created this space, was because I collapsed a decade worth of growth with the right guide in my corner. And now I can say, holy shit, having somebody who can say, I don't know. Oh, yeah, you definitely just got abducted, my girl. Like, that was so helpful for me to be like, oh, okay, so I wasn't just thinking that. Okay, interesting. So now walk me through, who have you become since the medicine retreat? Where are we now?
Where are we now? Well, how do I answer that question? That's a big question.
I know.
I feel like since the moment Ananda came through me, it's been like day after day of timeline collapse, hear this, hear that. And I had actually launched a retreat in July. And after I channeled Ananda, I was like, oh my gosh, this is what this retreat is for. And all of the pieces came through. And now I'm hosting a sold out retreat with Ananda, but also in integrity, which is really important for me, because when I first met you, I was very triggered about the fact that you talked about
Oh,
retreats.
yeah,
And I was,
I forgot about that.
dude, I used to get so triggered about the fact that you talk about retreats and ceremonies. And I was like, oh God, like I felt so much activation, and I feel like it's just allowed me once again to go deeper of, I know like who I am now. I know with 100% certainty that every ceremony, every retreat, every in-person experience that I hold will be of the highest integrity, and therefore hold the highest transformation. And so I've turned your huge trigger into service for not just me, but for my clients and their work. But who I am now, yeah, I'm hosting a sold out retreat in 10 days, which is crazy. And literally told all the women on the onboarding call about how I'm going to dome the space and gold shield all of you for ceremony. And, like holding that, and all of them received it like, wow, thank you so much. I've never had this before. And so I am revolutionizing the retreat space and the ceremony space, and what it actually looks like to work with medicine in a way where we can both blend psychic protection and also surrender into the magic of the shamanic realms, and like weaving those two together. And so that's really who I am now. And
Dude, that's eloquent you've ever said what you do. I just needed to like interrupt and be like,
really,
oh, that was amazing. I've never heard you be like, this is what I do. I'm revolutionizing the medicine space. Like, that was what a great elevator pitch.
wow, I'm going to go back and like write that down. I don't remember what I said.
I really love that when I listen to you as somebody who, let's say, is a listener here, I would want to know more about your retreats. I would want to know more about the work that you do. I would want to know more about you, because I treat energy work personally like trauma work. So when I begin to connect with somebody's energy for the first time, I'm not like, energy, let me show you what I can do in 1 hour so you can think I'm a good psychic. Like, I take time to actually get to know the energy, and I set an intention with the spirit, and I slowly start to send reassurance and truth and trust into the space. And then 2 days later, when I go back in, they're like, let's go, because you took the time to cultivate the space that resembles the level of respect that somebody's energy deserves. And especially when you're hosting a retreat, you are called to utilize medicine inside of the retreat. It's a part of your natural path. And you can vet the people at the space as best as you can, and you never totally know what is going to be present. You now become somebody who I can deeply trust to hold me through the process of what could come. And so I want to say thank you for your integrity and the work that you do to one today express maybe for those who do participate in medicine, who love the shamanic realms, and who also are wondering where protection and safety and control comes from. You've now offered, I think, people a perspective that maybe allows them to feel like, oh, I can have both. It actually, they complement. Oh, yes. Maybe what I'm feeling is also true, that I'm cosmic and shamanic, right? I'm constellation and I'm earth. I'm both. And they can both coexist, where I can utilize the beautiful gifts that God has given us naturally to open and access, but also revering what comes with the responsibility of that, the access.
100%. I mean, it's all based on what you've taught me. You know, it's like there's what I've learned from you is that everyone has their natural path. And, you know, even now I'm like, oh, I see how being a remote energy healing now weaves into my work, but it's like my natural path is in-person work.
Yeah.
It's ceremony, it's retreat, like that is me. Mm-hmm. And seeing how the foundational framework of the sovereign healer works with whoever you are.
Yep.
Whether you do retreats, or you do entity extractions, or you are a fairy that works with crystals, or whoever you are, it's like that framework is simply a supporting foundation for your natural path, which also I feel like just aligns your natural path more.
Yep. I love that you added that in, especially because you're inside of the mastermind. So you actually get access to, 15 other healers who, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but nobody is doing the same shit as the other person.
Everyone has their own, like, not even, no. Yeah.
I mean, everybody's able to read energy now, and everybody's able to access, but the way that they're using it in the way of which it's naturally calling them are all going different ways. I know we have a soul inside of this space who's going to be also contributing to utilizing geometry when they read, your energy, and like people are trusting the way that the natural calling is coming in. And that is what the sovereign healer gives you above anything else, right? Can you sit your ass in meditation for 9 months, follow protocols that aren't mine? They're God's gift to help you understand that. Okay, I'm going to sidebar here because it's got to come up. I saw this person comment on my post and was like, we live in the, in the 3D realm, good and bad is just an illusion. And when you transcend, this dimension, no longer will basically you experience entities. And my response is, what world are you living in? Because I'm living in a physical body in the third dimension. You're living in a physical body in this third dimension. The only way we're escaping this matrix is if we are dead.
Beam me up.
Yes. So no matter what, we're going to have to learn how to use the equipment of the third dimension, because we're in the fucking third dimension. Yep. And so the sovereign healer teaches you how to safely utilize the natural tools to master your second skin. Yep. As a higher dimensional being who's in this fucking earth. Like, don't fight me on it. There's good and bad on this third dimensional plane. Like, if I in my mind think, oh, I'm dreaming of peace, does that take away from the wars that are happening on this planet? Have I transcended out of that reality? No, you're on track. If I think, oh, that narcissist in that past relationship I had 5 years ago, I've transcended that, it doesn't exist. No. It definitely still exists. Like, a narcissist still exists, even if you're existing in a realm where you're not thinking of it. Yep. And so the sovereign healer allows you to be able to master the equipment of this very real dualistic third dimensional reality we have. And in that, as we can see with Sophia, like, she's just continued to hit higher and higher points of spiritual and psychic access because of this technology. Yeah. So I love this. And I'm so glad that you brought in so many important nuances about the mastermind, natural path, trust, what it was like for your process, and how utilizing medicine being a natural part of your path actually helped you inside of this. So now I'd love to open up the floor for you. I want to respect your time and energy as always. And you probably have the North Shore to go hang out at, swim at, surf at, whatever. Whatever. On that note, I would love for you to share whatever you think would be supportive for anybody who is watching this, is replaying this, who's maybe potentially interested in the mastermind or the school or the university.
Aha. Okay, there's a few things that want to come through. The first thing that wants to come through is I feel like there's people that are like, oh, that's really cool, but I don't need it. Like I'm already doing the thing, or I'm already doing my work, or I don't need that because I know what I'm doing. And my invitation for that is to like humble yourself and open yourself up to learning a better way. And let me reframe, a safer way, a more of integrity way, because before this I had no understanding, and now I tell my clients like, dude, go be in the school, go be in the mastermind, or like bring what comes through to me and I can share what I've learned to you, because I understand how important this is. So if you're someone that's like, I don't need that, I already know how to do energy healing, and yet your heart's like, oh, but that's kind of, maybe I should be in it, I invite you to maybe check your ego a little bit with love and like actually lean into, can I be a safer healer? Can I deepen in my integrity and in my embodiment? Because that is what I really believe makes the best healers, is just us constantly learning and receiving the wisdom and the codes that we have all received and kind of weaving it together into your own truth, which is really what I believe this mastermind is. And then within that, you can, this is just my belief, and you know this, it's like, you can do it on your own, but why would you do it on your own when you have an expert in your corner that you can just support in getting you there faster? You know, I'm sure I would have gotten to Ananda someday, but I don't know, it could have been 3 years from now. It could have been however long it would have taken for me to actually receive that information on my own. And I know with 100% certainty that being inside of this mastermind completely quantum leaped the timeline in which I have risen into my role as a healer and as a medicine woman on this planet. And so I guess like for me, I would say you can do it on your own, but like you stepping into any work with Victoria, you're working with the best of the best, period. Like truly. And I don't just say that, like you're working with the best of the fucking best of energy healers. And so in my eyes, I don't know why I wouldn't have the best of the best in my corner. You know, it makes sense to me. So, and then I guess the final thing is, it's just what I always do, follow the paying. If it doesn't make sense, great, do it anyways. If you don't know how it's going to work financially, great, do it anyways. I had to split up my first payment because I had no money when I was like, I have, my money is gone, but I split up the first payment, and I was like, great, I'm going to do it anyways. Like, do it anyways if your heart is like yes, and trust that that yes is leading to something bigger, because it always is.
Thank you so much. I am so moved by your just thoughtfulness and sharing your journey. And obviously, it feels really rewarding as somebody who has a giant vision for where the school is going. And those who know where I want the school to go and where it is going. And to have had a lot of attack on my energy, as you know, to have had a lot of actual interference, actual entity attachments, to be where I am right now, to be able to say, hey, you don't have to agree with everything that I'm saying, but it's very fucking clear that whatever I am putting down is lives for healers in ways, leaders, people who are awakening in ways that is truly bar none. Like I do not see this work being done anywhere else where safety, integrity, ethics, and a foolproof, simple method that allows people to go from as simple as what it means to hold a safe space and protect a safe space, to being able to, as you'll find out in the next few months, remove cords, disconnect attachments, and actually be able to clear fragments on a soul level for somebody, regardless of how you use it. So thank you. I appreciate you. Well, you know, more than absolutely anything. And I'm so proud of you. Like, you are extraordinary. And the work that you do in the world, and how you've trusted the work you do in It's just, you make me very, very, very proud to know you and to be able to watch you and raise you up. And truth be told, I actually considered potentially going to your retreat.
Stop it right now. You're actually lying to me.
Because when you had a few spaces open, I was like, if I was to go anywhere, I would go to Sophia's retreat. And for me to say that when I've never, one, never been to a retreat, two, would probably never go to a retreat.
Wow.
To me, it speaks volumes about the work that you're doing, because my energy felt like I would be able to trust your leadership in medicine. And that's for anybody. Like, I hope that when people receive you today, they see sincere embodiment, because that's what I feel from you and I see in everything that you're doing.
Thank you so much. That is like actually the biggest compliment, because I know that you would never, go to just like some retreat. And so so much of my embodiment is because of you. And so I appreciate you. I mean, I'm not going to get emo on live. And I am so grateful to be in the mastermind. I'm also just so excited to see what happens in the next 4 months and how things progress. And I don't know, whatever is going to unfold. And I'm just excited.
Well, there's a world for you continuing post mastermind. We'll leave it at that. And I'm excited, beyond excited, for how you are truly going to change the entire medicine space in the best way. You're going to help so many people who have experienced trauma in retreats. You're going to help so many people who have experienced trauma in medicine. You are going to help so many people who are on the path of knowing that they are called to medicine, called to use their voice, called to express their voice in a way that is global. And you are truly, I believe, in my opinion, a bar none healer who is absolutely revolutionizing what that means. So thank you. I love you so much. Please, what kind of work are you doing right now? Like, how can I work with you if I wanted to work with you?
What kind of work am I doing right now? I am planning 2 retreats for the rest of this year. So I'm planning one more in Hawaii in July and one in Mexico in November. Mm-hmm. Also come sit with me in private one-on-one ceremony, which is fantastic, mm-hmm. because you just it's just your soul, my soul, and we're in the vortex together of magic. And then my private healing work is underway for some time in some way to weave with remote energy healing, specifically for the womb, specifically for the sacral, specifically for activating your past lives and clearing the generational pieces that are living in your womb that are keeping you from being in your full feminine power. So right now it really looks like private work with me, but there's different avenues in the ways in which you can step in, and other avenues will unfold very soon.
So good. I love that you wove in the part about you doing energy work on the spiritual level. TBD, my friends, because that is going to be, I've never seen anybody else do it. So I'm excited for you to do it, and not just to do the somatic element, but actually weaving the somatic and the spiritual is just going to be the thing for you. So Sophia, thank you. I love you with all of my heart. And anyone who kept listening or who's listening, I hope that you found value here, because there's so many important pieces here. So feeling good, feeling complete.
Feel perfect.
Amazing. Well, enjoy the rest of your day on the North Shore. And thank you to everybody who caught this live, because it was juicy.
It was good. I love you too.